Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Hero, like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Mill Road in the north. It is Sillycat fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Here with the 1 16th Panzerdivision Windhund with Overwatch, Grand Offensive, and Firestorm. In the south, it is Skeletron fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the 3rd Armored Division with Mechanized, featuring Mechanized groups, 76 Shermans, mortar half-tracks, cavalry riflemen, and combined arms. And we got Overwatch and Mechanized here with Jaegers, early warning systems for the fatherland, howitzers, and sector assault. Mechanized groups, 76... I'll mention that anyways. Off to the races we are, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters. Without them and their support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So a big thanks to the Propaganda Legion for their continued belief in the war effort. Other people can join the ranks by Patreon, or they can donate by PayPal. Links are in the video description. You can also, if you're going to pre-order currency, do so via the link in the comments. Use the CoH2 3G, in which case I get a cut of the sale. So, and of course, feed the YouTube algorithms by, commenting, liking, and all that jazz. So, Dove Rifle and Dodge Truck Study for Skeletron. Probably the most dedicated USF mechanized player I have ever witnessed. Kuvan here, they're striking hard for Deutschland, showing that he too can do mechanized things. In the southeast, Sturmpioneer by the son of fuel point, quickly wiring off the car there so the Americans don't run off with it. But what if they use the other door, Ludwig? What if they use the other door? The Americans! They're too lazy. Kuvan up northwest rations there, further up north, full scram points here. Far south there, Rifle School moving up here, slowly getting ready to pressure the fuel point. There you go. Shots about to get fired here as the M1 Garands fire off shots in the direction of the Sturmpioneer here. Sturmpioneer can't easily close in here, so they back off, quickly pulling up behind the fence and the outhouse, hoping perhaps bait the American into more favorable engagement ranges. Now this, a Raketenwerfer here with the early dart truck, plus a truck as well here for Sillycat. That is a definite build order there. Skeletron, meanwhile, is going most likely here for a fast lieutenant. Yup. Here we go. Sturmpioneer pulling back towards the fuel point for now. Raketenwerfer out there to help deal with the dart truck, but also any potential armor there. Grabbing points here, sandbags down. Pretty light infantry-wise, the opening here though from Sillycat, and there go Kuvak now supporting the Sturmpioneer here. Rifle squad situation in the south. Could get a bit more. Could dart truck meanwhile getting upgraded with the 5th cal there. And there you go, Kevin just being carted faults there by the German army truck. Getting up for Belgrade headquarters here for Sillycat. Pretty early one there. Guessing he is planning on relying fairly much on Jaegers here versus the Americans. Rifle squad here and taking advantage of the terrain here to quickly sneak up behind here. Sillycat's Eastern Force, Fultz in the center. Sturmpioneer quickly occupying the shed there in a most tactical manner. And now both Rifle squad strikes backed up at the dart truck. If you look ready here, could fire from the dart truck. And there you go, great shot there. Skeletron clearly did not expect someone to go for that early Raketenwerfer here, but Sillycat proved him wrong. Rifle squad there being hammered with the rifleman there. Close to losing the Raketenwerfer there, Fultz moving in here as well. Skeletron's assault continues here against Sillycat and the German army, the 116th Panzerdivision. Fultz is getting a man loss here in the Americans. So for this has been a pretty decent push here for Skeletron. His dart truck, though, of course, he needs some repairs. Lieutenant out there as well. Likely we're going to go for some cavalry rifle and follow up with that. There we go. Some assault troops to mix in with his regular troops here. Rifle squad being pushed back. Kuvag and Fultz keep firing away here. And Skeletron's push in the east has finally run out of steam. And at this point, he may as well just retreat. Like, at this point, I feel like he's just wasting manpower there to Sillycat. But apparently, I was wrong then. He knocks out the Kuberwagen. That was clearly his plan all along. Mr. President, sir, we have destroyed a Kuberwagen. Are you stupid? Get back to me, you got something more important to say. Like killing Hitler, or I don't know. Finding a cheaper fuel substitute to sell to poor people. Anyway, Sturmpioneer heading southwards there. Rifle squad Jaeger setting out there, so it looks like we're going to be seeing a Jaeger build here from Sillycat to bleed out the Americans under Skeletron. Might see some 50 cals, might see Mechanized command post into some stewards most likely here. Jaeger's probably going to get upgraded there with Jaegers. Cab rifling forwards there, adding some Thompsons. The Kenworth holding up there. And the dart truck with Lieson's getting ready to launch an assault here in the Germans. Will he be ready though for a fairly early Pantherfest here from Sillycat, who knows the Kenworth there being pushed back as Skeletron charges ahead once more for freedom and democracy. In the south, Sturm Pioneer there being caught as well here. So did a lamppost, and so did Larry apparently. There's a Sturm Pioneer that being just hounded here. We got the cav rifle equipped with a pair of chumps as well, further augmenting and increasing their firepower against the Nazi menace. Jaeger's here bleeding out. Lieutenant almost got wiped here with the G43s there, scoped. Dartra, they're definitely proven to be a hell of a pain in the posterior there for Sillycat. Guessing a flak half-track here is planned. They could also go for another Jaeger squad now, and he does in fact go for more Jaegers. Pretty Jaeger-heavy strategy, which obviously has some risks involved. You can see that in terms of map control. Until he gets those Jaegers out, he did have very little on the field, which Skeletron, of course, was very quick and eager to exploit. And now Skeletron filling up here with the Stuart light tank. Jaeger's being charged with the counter rifle, and Dart Truck getting ready as well. There, Kevin ever spotted. And there you go, full route here for Sillycat. Really rough start, and not particularly silly here for Sillycat. Second Jaeger squad ready, Sturm Pioneer moving up. There's 10% packing as well here. Really strong showing here for Skeletron, America, and Democracy here. Leading the way for the free world. Jaeger still reinforcing, healing, and there we go, more G-footage ready to bleed out these verdammte Amerikaner. Stuart Light Chain though is right around the corner here for Skeletron. And there you go, cavalry now being met with accurate marksman fire here from the Jaegers. Bobby there drops dead. And Kevin finding out the rifleman looking to wreck the heavy cover. Really bad start here. Also now Skeletron has access to both fuel points, but he's getting almost 4 times as much fuel per minute than his opponent, which is definitely not the sort of situation you want to be in versus any player. Particularly not as the Obo Command West, but there you go. Camera rifle charging to the Jaegers, and the losses are quite horrific there. So the men are being absolutely gutted out in the open. Rifleman escort now the mercy of the Jaegers. We've got the Stuart moving up here though. Definitely a problem there for Sillycat, but he fights onwards, nonetheless undeterred by the American war machine. Meanwhile, the Stuart just keeps blasting away with its 3rd assembly gun there, hoping to kill some goddamn krauts. Up north, the Reason's going for Northern Point. Flak half-track here for Sillycat, turning to his own mechanization to turn the tide against these verdammte gangsters. Ambulance plus weapon racks here for Skeletron. Stuart roaming about here. Full to the grabbing the eastern fuel point. Ambulance out. Black half track right around the corner here for Sillycat. Northy Jaeger Sturm Punic catch the lasers up north. Got the center for the Jaegers there. 8, and we got 4 kills on them so far. North of the Rations are quickly dispatched with all haste, and south of the Academy for keeps Sillycat in the south somewhat safe from the Stuart light tank. Somewhat. Of course, the crew is quick to fix up the damage. Of course, all the while complaining. The turn they're being bled out though by the Jaegers, quickly piling up the casualties up north. We got the Jaegers advancing there for Sillycat. Lieutenant routed here in the south, Stuart there being fixed up. Back here, base troops sitting out there for Mr. Skeletron. Still light chain there so far with the no kills, though of course that can always rapidly change. And up north here, the scout car or dart shot they hits at the more exposed infantry. Thumbs up there to Skeletron. Good read on the situation there. Almost got the southern fuel point, flak half track. Rapidly repositioning, and back here for Mr. Sillycat, nothing further happening except a machine gewehr. Another sign, of course, here that he's quite concerned about Skeletron's infantry, now also being equipped with the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle. But there you go. Center assault here, though, spotted and thwarted here as both the Jaegers and the flak half track unleash a torrent of fierce firepower there into the advancing infantry. The only one squad suppressed. The Stuart rushing for the flak half track. The Jaegers are sent packing as well here. Needs more troops up here, and the flak half track is at this rate likely going to get knocked up. Let's do a light tank, which is going to cause be a great killer for Skeletron. Quite a blow there to Sillycat, and there go the flak half track does explode. No longer flak half track, it is now merely a flat half track. Dark Truck running about here, going straight for the fuel point here. Another astounding early game success here for Skeletron. Freedom and democracy. Can we open the Stuart light tank? He's trying to, but no, the Stuart is already zooming away there. Sturm Pioneer advancing. Could maybe consider adding 8 Panzerschreck here to increase the amount of firepower he can bring to bear against the Stuart light tank. More Jaegers out there. Good golly, this feels like a bit of an all-in there from Sillycat. hoping that with 3 Jaeger squads he can apply such immense pressure to Skeletron's forces that maybe he can isolate the armor and that way push things back against Skeletron. It's bold. Could work out, but it could also backfire, particularly because Skeletron with this fuel lead is going to be pushing pretty fast for tanks, so he needs to make this Jaeger strategy work for him pretty fast. That said, 3 Jaegers, if it does pay off, can really bleed out Skeletron. So we'll have to see how this goes. There you go, quick engagement, Lieutenant. Bravo squad there with the BARs opening up those German Jaegers. More Jaegers moving in there. Sturmpionier Jaegers feeling the brunt of it, but we got more Jaegers in the scene here. And again, the Bravo squad range will effectively lose out to the Jaegers and the marksman rifles. Virtually 2 there. 11 kills. Stuart moving up the flank here. Kemp not quite ready for that. Dodge truck moving as well now, providing further fire support here. Rierson's Lieutenant Bravo squad moving forward, but again, that exposed them to more fire, but except the Stuart completely messes things up here. In the west, we got the machine gun for some reason is shit all on its own. Like someone who got the wrong directions. So that's a fight. Yeah, wait, I think we took the wrong Adolf Hitler Straße. Again. Ach, my God. Why did they have to call every road Adolf Hitler Straße? Makes it really difficult to get around. Just lucky we didn't end up in Brittany again. Leaves there the Jaegers, pushing them back steadily. Cover up in the court with the MU-34. Another 50 cal there for Skeletron. Stuart racing straight at the MU-34. Far up north, the Sturmpionier going for the northern victory point here. We got 354s, 477 so far. Skeletron just keeps up the lead. Sillycat here going for another Academy F, and there go the Lieutenant. Got executed by the Jaegers, Hollywood style. A torrent of gunfire, while being forgotten by the main plot. Major, Dodge coming up there. And of course, this is going to add some pressure there psychologically, I think, here to Sillycat. I mean, he's seen the Major, so he knows armor's going to be inbound soon. Some kind of armor. Depending how familiar he is with Skeletron, he might start worrying about Scots. Of course, anyone who knows Skeletron knows he's just going to go for Shermans, because Skeletron knows where the party's at. The Detroit tank plant. Yeehaw. Wait, no, they don't say yeehaw in Detroit, do they? Anyways, truck on the way there for Sillycat, feeling the continued pressure here of the 3rd Armored Division and United States Armored Forces. Got like Kempling Hall to help deal with it. There we go, good shot on the Steward. Far south here, Jaeger's advancing. Skeletron seems to have upgraded his rear echelons with BARs. Everything gets a BAR. They're going straight for the forces of the Jaegers here, backed up again by a swarm of infantry, backed up with the 50 cal here. Unleashing another full fist of democracy right at Sillycat's center here. The Kev's being pushed back, unable to stop this. We got the Jaegers still joining in here. 15 kills, South 852. But again, met with so much firepower at close range, the Jaegers obviously can't really marksmanship their way out of that one, can they? MU-34, they're catching the advancing Americans, stopping the Yankee charge. The Kevin of us there, holding up Sturmpionier charging in. Truck not quite setting up there for Mr. Sillycat. Jaeger's here being pursued with the Stuart Light Tank again. Sturmpionier with a Pantrick Jar Truck racing in. Artillery calling as well here. Stuart there narrowly survives here. It is just chaos. Artillery raining down the car point. Guessing it's the Major that called in. Yes, indeed. The Kevin's moving about here. Sturmpionier right in there. Go insane armor piercing rounds. Finally take out the Jar Truck. It's a circus of destruction, ladies and gentlemen. Bankhead truck reinforcing healing. Meanwhile, Skeletron there, rushing out the first Sherman. Well, rushing, but he's getting out a Sherman, that's for sure. Jaegers was the reactions there. No matter how much BAR they got against the Jaegers inside the building, they do fall a bit short. Unless, of course, they get to the blinds of the building, though. I'd imagine that's not really a blindside anymore, is it? Like, I cannot shoot through that hole. Jürgen, it's not structurally safe to fire as that massive hole into the wall. We're all doomed, aren't we? Anyways, 5th cal Major here, being steadily pushed back by the Germans in the center. Sherman on the way there for Skeletron. Right around the corner. And then go schwerer Panzer quarters up. They want to salvage the dart truck for a bit of extra fuel. I mean, whatever scrap of extra fuel here Sillycat can manage with Skeletron, I'd say he should absolutely grab that with both hands. But there you go. Still haven't done that. Stuart pursuing the Jaeger. Sillycat setting up, hoping to bait in there for jumping into the building. That could actually cost him the Stuart. There we go. Both rockets hitting there. Massive strike there, right at the engine block, and somehow the entire thing is still going. Jaeger's grabbing the center there. West side there, we got a push here going forwards. Sherman backed up with two infantry squads. There is plowing through here. Sillycat's left front. 5th cal there being added. And we got Sturmpioneer folks of the right squad here by the southern victory point. And straight into the base here. Skeletron knows where the party's at. It's in the enemy's base. Few players are as consistent about attacking the enemy's base as Skeletron is. It always makes them a bit interesting. In the center of the eastern quarter, being heard for and are quickly routed. In the south, the Ralph squad, they could grab the southern victory point here. We got 306 versus 448. Sherman backing off for now. Schwerer Panzer quarters authorized. But what will he go for next? For now, Sturmpioneer, they pick up the Ralph squad up close range versus the double bars. The Sturmpioneer only have one thing to do, and that's retreat. Oh, is he just going to get murdered? Stuart being fixed up here. Sherman holding up here the northern front for now. And Sillycat, I'm guessing, is just trying to stay alive and he's going to start bringing out his own panzers here, or he can somehow bait the Sherman into a kill zone. Stuart racing out there close to the east level. Fresh fighting around the center there. Good double cameras punching holes of rather considerable size in the Stuart light tank again. And there we go. This time the Stuart is knocked out here. Sherman, though, races in here, going for the flank of the K-members, firing high explosive shells right into the midst, causing a complete rout. Smoke being deployed here as well to both allow them to push in the car, but also to push further ahead here, completely disrupting here Sillycat's defense, and he's just unloading death here into Sillycat's force. We could even see some wipes out of the base here, like Kevin have wiped. Now backing off of the Sherman, realizing can't do any more, but still really just bold, aggressive tactics here against Sillycat, as long as he doesn't get too reckless. Sherman there down to half health, down to less than half health, in fact down to roughly a quarter here. Meanwhile, another Sherman here for Skeletron, Freedom and Democracy, and Sillycat is still quite some time away from any Panzer IVs or Yak Panzer IVs. Fuel upon the south wing seats for Skeletron once more. Sillycat still feeling the intense pressure of the United States Army. So yeah, by the time he maybe has a tank out at this rate, I mean, Skeletron may just have 3 tanks out. Honestly, recently caught up with the Jaegers. We also got more cavalry rifle for Skeletron. Looks like the last re-echelon narrowly survives the encounter here. Got the Megi here versus the Jaegers. In the center there, we got the Imufels, the 50 cal here. Sherman almost done. Far up north here, Fulls grabbing the point here. Second Sherman almost done there. There we go. In the south, the Jaegers advancing. Ralph squad holding up. There we go. M43 Sherman out there from Mr. Skeletron. Other Sherman being fixed out there. Suspect things are about to get pretty hot again here. Meanwhile, Sillycat bringing up some artillery. The light infantry Geschütz which is a fun fact, was not developed in 1918. That was actually just a deceptive measure. It was actually much later than that. But basically just called that to, shall we say, avoid any scrutiny from the Western powers, since they technically weren't supposed to develop new artillery. So a little fun fact there. Sherman force keeps opening up. The Jaegers about to get wiped out here. Strong shot. Sherman push there, but almost losing one of the Shermans in the process. Interesting enough, also shot munitions here to the smoke to increase survivability, but might get a wipe here on Sillycat's one and only Fulton in his squad. Or not. Wow, talk about lucky if you ignore all the damage and trauma he suffered, but you know, he survived. Almost got the 50 on the south. We got the Jaeger of the Ralph squad. Also looks like one Jaeger squad has been absolutely deleted from this world by Skeletron's highly explosive efforts. Sherman delivering a high closure right into the MU-54 crew there, shattering the unit almost entirely. And the second shot does the trick. Lekeb was hoping to somehow shoot through the large rocks and trees, but Unsurprisingly, none of the rockets are really going anywhere except maybe... Oh, actually, one went through there. More going through them. Impressive. Almost got the Sherman with that. Who knows how many squirrels gave their lives for those Academy shots to go through. Sturm Pioneer there being reinforced once more. Closing in the Panzer IV Jagdpanzer IV here. We'll have to see which of the two options Sillycat commits to here versus Skeletron. Got the Leichte Infanteriegeschütz joining in. That results, the larger version is known as the Schwere Infanteriegeschütz, which had a 15cm caliber, which they also make self-propelled versions of. Anyways, Jaeger's in the center close being wiped out here. Forces charging in though. Artillery fire and resistance doing some further damage. And then south here, the Skeletron pushes once more for the 3rd Armoured Division. And then further up north here, we got the Jaegers. They're being further pummeled by rifle squads then retreat. Sturm Pioneer MG-34. Quite an expensive MG-34, but not as expensive as an Obersoldat MG-34. Pushes head westwards there. In the south there, Skeletron's advance continues ceaselessly, with Sillycat lacking the force to deal with that, but he's at least going for another Panther IV, and kind of as figured, by the time he is going for a Panther IV, Skeletron has a 3rd tank on the way. North, the infantry launching another assault, 2 cav rifle squad, back to the rifle squad, and the Sherman there, assailing the northern machine gun position here, which is certainly a bit out of its element there, high risk of being wiped again, but there goes Sherman's being pummeled by a torrent of rockets from the Kevins of the Pantrix, and there go. One Sherman does go down, a small reprieve here for Sillycat, lining one of these Tommy cookers while cooking. Another Sherman waited for Skeletron. Cav rifle and rifle squad between the Sturm Pioneer here. North the Jaegers versus the rifle squads, they engage in the G43s and their Kar 9 TKs. Another Sherman there for Skeletron. Hey Sarge, yeah, don't you think you got something? You know, it's feeling a bit windy. I think we've got the tank. Panther IV setting out there. Sherman rolling out here for Skeletron. Reaction they're being barred now by the mighty Panzerkampfwagen 4 as von Jod. Sherman strikes at it. Shot bounces off it. Panther IV shot does not bounce off the Sherman. Other Sherman loading up the armored pistol rounds, going for the Panther IV as well. Like Kevin's are lining up. Need to smoke them or need to get out of there. Good shot for the rear side armor there with the Panther IV. Reaction sent back to get murdered. 50 cal there. Also looking at, I think, better venues to not get shot at by Germans. South the major push back. We got 273 versus 385. 5th count narrowly avoids getting wiped out here. Maybe. At least with the Panther IV, Sillycat has something with a bit more oomph here, though it is still a bit outnumbered in terms of, like, you know, numbers and tanks. Maybe want to get a fuel point back here. Maybe extend a bit more on the north as well here. The more fuel Sillycat can get, the better. And of course, the Skeletron, the less he can get, the better. That is, Sillycat can get. Almost getting a weapon the rifle squad would be pretty good here for Sillycat if he could get another weapon. Skeletron as well, so make it happen to call the map. BAR drop there, that the Fultoners cannot pick it up. They're not allowed to. They've got jump gears upgraded. Ooh, close to wipe themselves. Again. Panther IV gets a great shot there. Veterans one achieved as the shot punches right through the Sherman's armor. Up north, the Sherman and infantry charging after the Kedem efforts here. Jaegers absolutely getting out of there as well, as they're obviously not equipped to deal with a Sherman tank. North here, trip reinforcing healing. Far south, he's Sherman back off in the face of the Panther IV. 6 kills, veterans in 1. Southern point exceeds with the Jaegers. Sillycat is holding slightly better onto the map, but not by a lot, and he's bringing in some Obersoldat and a bit more elite infantry to tackle the Americans. Not a bad idea. Not that there's a lot else can go for at the moment anyways. Good shot from the Panther of the rifle squad. In the Sturm Pioneer to repair, and then go wrapping something more. The wrath of the Panzerkampfwagen 4 von Jod. 1 kill on the Leichte Infanteriegeschütz. We got the Jaegers there with the BAR certainly further augmenting the firepower and the lethality towards American infantry. Major about to get wiped out. Lacington the assault. Jaeger's about to get annihilated. That's certainly a bit of blow there to Sillycat. Destiny 4 and with a BAR. That's not something you can easily replace now, can he? In the center of the Orbison about here, almost wiping out the 5th gal there, and further up north, Sherman there is blocking any attempt by Sillycat to at least easily expand into the north side of the map. Meanwhile, Skeletron, with the arrival of the Panther 4 Model J, is time to upgrade into slightly larger tanks, the 76 from the Sherman. Panther 4 Model J, they're about to pursue the Sherman, but no, decides perhaps there's other things to do. Sherman head east was there, grabbing the eastern field point. And more cavalry arriving here for Skeletron. Freedom and democracy. Sturm Pioneer sent packing, center being seized, northern front. They're also opening up there for the Germans. Sherman back north there, bit of artillery hit there for the frontal armor. Somehow managed to do a bit of damage there. And 76 from Sherman for Skeletron. We got even more orbs in here for Sillycat. Definitely sticking to it appears a 5-squad build. Not a bad idea in comparison. We've basically got 3 squadrons of Pearsons here for Skeletron. He could certainly also benefit from infantry. Sherman rolling ahead here. Almost got all 3 extra points on the German command here, but Skeletron is obviously looking to prevent that from happening, and there go fit the Kevin spot here with the 5th cal and a bunch of infantry. That is an immediate retreat there for Sillycat, obviously. There we go, 76 from Sherman racing 40th, 5th cal there being added. Panther 4 changing into the advancing American infantry. Smoke being deployed here to support the attack. Like to disrupt it, apparently it's Sillycat who's firing the smoke there, interestingly enough. Go figure. Sillycat, though, is actually getting close to another Panther 4 soon here. He could also go for the Jagdpanzer. He could even try and go out for a Panther, I guess. Infantry driving it, their advance into the center against the Panther 4 and the machine gun. Got the Sturm Pioneer joining in, becoming a bit expensive for Skeletron without smoke or additional armor support here. North here, Sherman keeps blasting away at the opposite up north here. Getting more light machine guns. Like Kevin's joining in the scene here, gating the Sherman. The first shot misses, second one that goes through. Leaving the crew quite displeased. Sturm Pioneer achieving retinue 3. Panther 4 there needs to be careful before it gets wiped out. And there we go. Crew is dead. Pop goes the whistle. Major calling some artillery here. Guess hoping to get lucky there, or maybe call Sillycat to push back instead of going for the 5th cal. Sherman racing in here. Close of 82 there, flanking the Panther 4. Nice shot there, but the Kevin's in the scene there will definitely push back the Sherman, and I think Skeletron already is pulling back there, anticipating that. Pretty hectic match here. Far up north, he's Sherman being repaired here. The Kevin destroyed, and the Major exterminated with a single shot from the high explosive shell of the Panzer IV Model J. The veteran C bonus there by all means, it becomes quite accurate versus infantry. Quite accurate. Another Major for Skeletron.
Battalion just released a Major for action.
Sherman's still almost good to go again for another push against the Krauts. Few mines for Sillycat here and there could be good, then again he might be setting up for sector assault. It is certainly a prominent feature of this command. In fact, some players will just go for Overwatch just for the sector assault ability. It's quite good. Perhaps even too good. But anyway, Sherman's then hot pursuit here of the Sturm Pioneer, tearing into the high explosive shells there. Actually, perhaps arm piercing. Go. Hoping there's no Germany there. Good. It's a mass assault here by the Shermans. It's a full-on cavalry charge here. Right into all the retreating units here to get as many wipes as possible. Of course, need to be careful doesn't get too overconfident. Got smoke being deployed here. Ripping through them. Definitely looking to make it hard for them to spawn back and just attack ground into all of this. This is an absolutely bold maneuver. Now the flanks being attacked there by the Panther 4. The Kevlar's being wiped out here. More smoke being dropped, I think, needed to engage with the Shermans. Going to be a bit difficult there, I think, to destroy the Kev Mathers. And we still got the Panther on the flank here. Panther and Sherman here. Virtually 2 on the Sherman, 23 kills, halfway to the ace level Footster squad, almost getting wiped again. Sturmpini being ripped apart. This time he actually managed to wipe the Falcons. After so many near wipes, he finally got it there. And the base is just filled with like a mountain of German corpses. Well, perhaps not a hill. Maybe like a very small molehill. But you get the idea. That's a lot of dead Germans. Quite brutal then. He didn't even lose a single tank. That's a really punishing base assault there from Skeletron. That said, Sillycat's been able to bring him another tank. We also got the Panther 4 air veteran 3 increasing its rate of fire and mobility. We might see the Caravan actually get wiped out here, but there you go. Goes for anti-tank shell charge on the Panther 4 model, yeah, and it's the veteran 3 one in that. Nearly survives the encounter, but I'm fairly certain the crew is not having a great time of it. Germany has the Panther 4 up north. He disengaged the Shermans here. Could also go for more Shermans. That's it. The Skeleton's infantry is starting to look pretty ragged compared to like Sillycat. Even though the Falcons still got like 2 Obersladen, the Jaegers and the Sturmpuni, and Skeletron just goes for more tanks. Obviously makes a lot of sense, but he definitely also needs to make sure he has a fair amount of infantry. Part of me would also like to see maybe a half of some infantry can actually just use combined arms during this assault, since combined arms is a very powerful ability. But there you go. Got one of the Shermans over the Panther 4 artillery and smoke just being released here. We got troops retreating. Shermans though looking disengaged here. There you go. Panther 4 taking a few hits there. Other Panther 4's almost good to go. Got 195 to 319. This match continues to be an absolute incredible one there. Well, a lot of exciting engagement there. MG Panther 4's released in the centre. Far up north, Frog Squad pushing with the point here. Panther 4's being steadily repaired still. Echidna's recruit. And that's another fresh Sherman in service of freedom. Veterans won the second Panther 4 here. Riflemen are being absolutely plastered with high explosives machine gun fire here from the Panther 4s. Further south here we got the Caravan going for the southern point. We got a Gebande line going into the path of advance there. In the end, though, the Obsolete will have to retreat, though. Got 190 versus 317. Sherman's lining up for the next push for freedom. Panther 4's there receiving repairs. First one, though, is very close to veteran forward, gets another accuracy bonus. It also used to get an at-range bonus. Very small one, but still notable enough to they had to be removed. Fun fact. Germans going in the offense again, lacking infantry support here, but still the Kevins just retreat. They're having none of it. Panther 6 firing away there. Shermans just unloading everything they got at the surrounding Germans here. Panther 4's around the flank here. Shermans disengaging though as the situation turns a bit too hot for them. Shots flying all over the place. The Obersladen being Panther 4 near Ace of now veteran 4. They're engaging Obersladen there. Holy smokes, none of them hit the Panther 4 apparently. That was really lucky there for the Panther 4. Sherman's just hauling ass all the way back to base for now.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
Need to fix something. There you go. The Panther 4s might go straight for the base here, hoping to destroy Skeletron's armor. But there you go. The infantry blocking or threatening with anti-tank rifles does force Sillycat to, well, nix that plan. In the south, the X-Rim, the point here. Reinforcing healing. You can actually soon go for like another Panzer 4. Or you could go for Jagdpanzer. As for Skeletron, I'm guessing another Sherman. Oh, I actually called in some more camera rifle. That's also very good. He still needs to like maintain some infantry. Like, at the same time, beyond that, just pushing out more tanks is, you know, a pretty solid strategy. In particular, we could make it work with the combined arms push, but seemingly he's not quite too keen on that. Which I suppose is staying true to history, where the American infantry and armor didn't exactly always have the greatest of time working together, even as the war drew to a close. There were cases where the infantry used to, like, you know, bail on the tanks and vice versa. Even as there were attempts like to increase infantry and armor cooperation, like for example adding telephones at the back of the Shermans, so the infantry could like just easily contact the crew. Panther moving about here. Another Sherman there for Skeletron. Well, up north, the opposite was the camp rifleman there. Sturmpuni advancing. South here, grenades going off. They're absolutely doing nothing. The opposite are narrowly avoiding utter extermination at the hands of the Americans. We're almost looking at another 4 push here from Skeletron. Small Sherman platoon there. They were mixed Shermans. Technically, the Americans did not actually mix their Sherman platoons. That's a fun side effect, but oh wait, there we go. Another wipe there on Skeletron. That's the rear. Not the rear, is actually the major who bit the dust again. There we go, going for another northern push. Sturm Pioneer being caught in a tide of American steel here, and they're just being absolutely hammered again. The Veteran 2 bonuses really giving some nice boosts there. And certainly further rewarding Skeletron for, like, just, you know, getting his tanks together. Panzerschreck drop there. Better blow there to Sillycat as he now has no way of repairing his tanks. And he lost the Panzerschreck too, which means he's got less firepower direct at the Shermans. That's also bad. Meanwhile, he's fixing up the tanks in the northern fields.
A capture point is under attack.
He definitely likes using this part of the terrain here up north. It's actually a bit interesting. Most players tend to like focus heavily in the center, or maybe... But he's like very focused on the north right there. So it looks like we're going to get another Detroit smash here from Skeletron against Sillycat. In the center of squad being held down by the orbs on the MU-Fed 4 here. Sturm Pioneer squad on the way there. Sherman racing forwards here. Racing straight at the Chemevs, there the tanks unleash a torrent of high explosives machine gun fire. We got air support called in there. Sillycat waited for this moment. He launches the Luftwaffe into action and hopes the action arrive in time and doesn't hit his tanks. The Chemevs close being wiped out. Sherman with the main gun knocked out. Sherman's there closing on the ace. There you go. Got it. Panther 4 Veteran 2 knocked out. Up north though, we got an ace Panther 4 there. A hero of the Reich. Sherman backing off here. Sherman blown up. The other Shermans are disengaging, or at least trying to disengage. The opposite having a bit of a harder time with it. It looks like, yeah, kind of makes it. It kind of makes it. Immediately sets about salvaging the Panther 4 there. For resources. Infantry-wise, Skeleton's infantry is once more taking an absolute beating. The Shermans are racing back home as the Ace Panther 4 goes in hot for Deutschland. Seeking vengeance for the fallen. Or maybe just an opportunity to kill more Americans. You never know. And there you go. More cavalry up there. Wiped out with the Jaeger Orbital combo here. And another wipe. Oh dear. But there you go. Ace Panther. Sherman going for the Panther 4 Ace. Almost got it there. Really close. Really close. What will Skeletron do next? I mean, he needs more infantry, but he also needs to keep his infantry alive. That was definitely some bad calls there with infantry rushing out like that. Getting just slaughtered by the Germans. That said, I mean, he still, like, has several Shermans. His opponent has 1 Panther 4. So, like, if he, like, manages, like, a really good push where, like, murders all of his opponents into the base, like, theoretically, he could win this. But in other regards, it's looking a bit risky there for Skeletron. And Sillycat could also turn this around despite just having 1 Panther 4. Even it is like an Ace Panzer 4. Fix up the Shermans. There's a lot of repairs going on. A lot of welding. Troops sitting out there. Another Sherman for Skeletron. He lives the armoured assault dream, doesn't he? We're going to see if he switches to company's team starts, and then if he uses infantry to ride along in the tanks. Because I kind of feel like that would really suit Skeletron's tactics as well. But anyways, enough about that. Panther 4 issuing up, they engaging the cavalry, obliterates Carl and Lenny there. Joey follows him to the next life there, and up north he goes for another push. But there you go, catching the orbital down there, and unleashes once more a just storm of death there on the retreating German infantry. Sherman almost done. Panthers on the way for Sillycat, and the faith for so many Shermans in particular, with all these, you know, Radionet bonuses. That's going to be a lot of firepower. I'm not entirely sure that's the sort of environment you want to be sending up Panther into, but maybe Sillycat can prove wrong. There, got Orbison wiped out. He's going for the base here. He's going for the base. The battle headquarters is about to get wrecked here by the Shermans. and the flak emplacements, it would appear. Yep, he's wrecking the flak emplacements. The flak guns are gone. The Panther's moving up. Fourth Sherman moving in there. Panther's almost done. Sillycat can't enter into his own base. And there you go. The battle headquarters is gone. More cavalry riflemen. The command headquarters could also get wrecked here. Good God, that'll even be just the Schwer plant quarters, in which case, if Skeletron gets that, he's got an annihilation victory. Holy smokes. But there you go. Panther rise, Panther 4 arriving the flank of the Kenmeth. As he's waiting for this time, he's waiting for Skeletron to extend like, bunch up like this, and now he's flanking, he's going for a potential kill here. If he can win here, he could of course win the game, but if he fails, that could be Skeletron's win. Sherman's almost knocked out with the Panther 4 ace here. Panther's just getting pummeled here by the Shermans. It's actually bouncing some of the shots here. Panther arriving here. Smoke being deployed here. Panther's almost knocked out. Sherman are gone. Utter chaos here. Flag emplacements doing some damage. There you go. One Sherman is abandoned. Crikey. Another ace Sherman here for Skeletron. But it does look like Sillycat has somehow weathered the storm. It was really close at times. There you go. GG, game over. An absolute humdinger of a match here on Mill Road, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, and consider supporting the Propagandacast with either donation via PayPal or pledge on Patreon. This is Imperial Lynch, and cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.